James Gunn's new DC universe just began with the show Creature Commandos. Episodes 1 and 2 just dropped. I'm here to talk about it. Let's get into it. So if you don't know, DC has brought James Gunn on to take control of the DC universe going forward, and he is starting a whole new reset. Now that doesn't mean that everything that's been set up in the past is now erased, because some of those things will still matter and will still continue to be canon, but for the most part, a lot of that is not gonna matter. James Gunn has said if it isn't referenced or mentioned in the new Creatures Commando show, then it's not canon, but if it's referenced, talked about, has something to do with the show, then those past works are canon, and we'll talk about that in this review. I watched episodes 1 and 2, and I'm gonna keep it a stack with you guys. It's fantastic. It's fire. It has everything I needed. First, I need animated super shows from now on. Stop giving me real people. I don't want to see it anymore. All of the animated ones have been better. Invincible has been fire. Creature Commandos has been fire. X-Men 97 has been fire. If you're going to give me a superhero TV show, I don't want to see no real people anymore. But just off the first 2 episodes, I'll say 2 things. One, I think James Gunn is doing a really good job with this show, and it gives me high hopes for everything happening later. And 2, you can definitely tell that this is a James Gunn production. It has a lot of those same qualities that like Guardians of the Galaxy has. A lot of the fight scenes are very reminiscent of especially Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The music choices feel very James Gunny. They're very fun, and it's music choices that you wouldn't expect to happen in the moment. So if it's like an extremely sad moment, maybe there'll be some upbeat music that you wouldn't really expect that gives a new juxtaposition to the scenes. James Gunn is really good at that. And obviously one of James Gunn's specialty, the comedy. It was hilarious. It was extremely funny. Great jokes, great physical comedy, killing it. You can definitely feel James Gunn's presence in this new show, and hopefully you can feel it within the rest of the DCEU that he's setting up. A decision that I think is working well and will continue to work well in this show is bringing in a cast of characters that are a lot lesser known. One of the reasons why the MCU was able to hit it out of the park is because they picked a lot of characters that weren't in the top 5 most popular characters. Iron Man wasn't as popular as he is now. Captain America wasn't as popular as he is now. Hawkeye, Black Widow, like those characters weren't extremely popular. And what that does is it lets people come in fresh and create new opinions of these characters. If this show would have been about Superman, Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, we know all of them already, so it's not anything fresh, it's not anything new. This show is bringing a cast of characters that the mass majority of people do not know about. Now, yes, if you're a diehard DC fan, you probably do know some of these characters. I would consider myself a pretty decent fan, and I don't know any of these Creature Commandos. I've never heard of these people before. Circe, the fish girl, I'm assuming she's some type of like Aquaman type character. She gets in the water, she gets stronger, blah, blah, blah. The Bride, yes, I've heard of Frankenstein and all of that, but I've never seen the DC character, The Bride, before. Dr. Phosphorus, who the hell is this guy? I'm gonna be honest, he's one of my favorite characters, but I don't know who the fuck he is. G.I. Robot, super unknown. The Weasel, super unknown. Rick Flag Sr., I mean, a lot of us know Rick Flag from the Suicide Squad movies, but Rick Flag Sr., I had never really heard of him before, so giving us a cast of characters that a lot of people don't know allows us to have that experience of getting our first interpretation of them and building on new opinions. Let's say this show were about Deathstroke. You already have your opinion on Deathstroke. You know whether you like him or you don't like him. Maybe this rendition will change your opinion one way or another, but what this cast has allowed us to do is create completely new opinions for characters that we know nothing about. And all the characters seem to be hilarious. Even the ones that I don't really know and didn't get a lot of speaking lines. Circe still had some comedy aspect to her. The Bride was funny as shit, especially when she was robbing that guard at the front of the door. Dr. Phosphorus, hilarious when he was standing at the door, letting Rick Flag get in his bag and do his thing. Like, these are great characters, and I'm so glad they're getting brought to light in this show. Early on in episode 1, they gave us some important information. It referenced the second Suicide Squad movie when they were talking about Rick Flag Jr. and the Task X-Force being eliminated and things of the sort, and even the Weasel being in it. If you watch the end of the Suicide Squad, the Weasel pops up and he's good at the end. So now we do know that that movie is canon, which means we might get to see some of those characters again. We might get a chance to see Peacemaker in the new DCEU. There's a bunch of opportunities that are now made in having that be canonized, and I'm glad it is, because that is one of my more favorite pieces of the DCEU that we had gotten previously. Let's talk a little bit about the story of the first 2 episodes. I enjoyed it. I'm locked in. They got my attention, and I'm gonna keep watching. It seems like the main villain is gonna be this Themysciran. I don't really know anything about her. She has magic. She's from the same place as Wonder Woman, and she has a group of dudes who are like incel weirdos that are gonna follow her and do whatever the fuck she says. But they're just normal dudes, so they really shouldn't be a problem. Now, she is an issue because her magic is crazy and she's still Amazonian. So she got that strength and that power. But the dudes, they seem lame as fuck. I'm pretty sure that the Creature Commandos can take them out pretty easily. Because of the imminent threat from the Amazonian, Task Force M is now tasked with protecting Princess Alana and making sure she's good and nothing happens. Now, we didn't see a lot of Alana. I take that back. We saw a lot of Alana, but we didn't see like a lot of her backstory and the things that are going on with her. But there has to be more. Something about her doesn't make sense. I feel like she's real suspicious. Like, I'm not saying she's a bad guy, but there's definitely more to Alana than we know, and I'm telling y'all there's something there. But shout out my boy Rick Flag Sr. I'm glad he got his W. Good for him, and shout out to my boy Dr. Phosphorus for making sure he was good. Now, as we saw, Rick and Phosphorus got into a crazy battle. Fantastic fight scene. Like, when I tell you the fight scene was great, it was amazing. And it really did feel like that James Gunn fight scene where it has like random close-ups and the camera's moving very fluid. I love that. It worked really well. But I think Dr. Phosphorus being his bro and letting him, have his moment was kind of his way for apologizing for, what he did to him. Especially since after they fought, Rick Flag kind of explained it and he was like, yo, I really don't want to use this on you. If everything goes good, I don't have to hit the shot collar. I don't have to hit the detonate collars. Everything's good. And I feel like that resonated with Phosphorus. He's like, damn, like this dude actually does trust me. So he gave him that bro moment and let him have his moment, we'll say. Let's take a second and talk about the bride's backstory. God damn. Her backstory was insane and real fucked up. Like, Frankenstein made the doctor make him a bride because he really wanted somebody to love and all that. Okay, cool, I get it, I understand it. He made her, and then he had to teach her and make sure she learned and do all that. And Frankenstein wasn't really fucking with that. Like, he was trying to just get straight into it with his bride, which confused me because you would think he would have had to go through the same process so he would understand what the fuck went on there. But maybe he didn't have to go through a process. I don't know. But as the doctor is teaching the bride all these things, he created an emotional relationship with her, which was really fucking creepy to me. Because it felt like he's their dad. At least that's what it felt like to me. It felt like he was like a dad. So to then create that emotional romantic relationship, you're a creep. Not to mention, that's a corpse. That's not a human. It's human, but it's a corpse. And then Frankenstein killed the doctor. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. Like, the doctor was clearly a weirdo and a menace, but was killing him cool? I don't know. This whole shit got me confused. So for the bride's origin story and her being brought to life to be that much crazy, fucked up trauma, I feel bad for her. Like, I cannot believe what that was like. And then for the rest of history, I think that shit happened in like 1820s. She's been going the next 200 years trying to run from him and get away from him. And all he wants to do is get up on her. I feel so bad for the bride. And then in the middle of going through all of her backstory and trauma, the goddamn Amazonian pull up and now she got a scrap with her. That scene was fire, by the way, when she took the jacket off and was scrapping with them in the hallway, throwing furniture, crunching their heads, the safe doors and blocking bullets. Then she grabbed the gun, started blasting at him. That fight scene was a 10 out of 10. If this show keeps delivering us incredible fight scenes like that, it has a chance to be one of the best animated series to come out this year. Granted, there's not a lot of time left this year, but it still has the potential. And it basically ended with the bride and Circe getting knocked out, being damn near down for the count, and the rest of Task Force M are trying to get to them, save them, make sure they're good. Now, my prediction is that Frankenstein is gonna pull up and stop the Amazonian and kind of buy them some time, but I don't really know. But I love this show. Just off the first 2 episodes, it has my attention, it has me locked in, and it has me very hopeful for the future of the DCEU. This isn't an ambitious statement to make, but if the quality of the DCEU run by James Gunn is to the same level of these first 2 episodes of the Creature Commandos, it might be able to give Marvel a run for its money. I feel like this is the perfect time for this. People are starting to get tired of the MCU. People are getting fatigued. They're not as invested in it as they used to be. Obviously, the MCU is still great and it is what it is. But if the DCU can keep coming like this and bringing quality like that, and James Gunn is doing his thing, they do have a chance to close that gap between the MCU potentially. I don't know what the MCU got coming next. I don't know what this new Captain America movie is gonna do, but if they keep doing this, shit, who knows? Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all haven't done so already, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.